Good evening, everyone.
Hello,
How are you?
good. How are you?
Just fine, thank you. Hi, Mayor.
Hello, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
I thought I might have been on mute or something.
That's why I was testing mine.
Yeah. It is, let's see what time it is. Yeah, getting close.
7:29.
Yep. All right, it is 7:30. And we shall call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Okay, good evening to everyone. I'll call the roll now, starting with Alderwoman West is absent. Alderwoman Tapman.
Present.
Alderwoman Reed texted me a little while ago and said she wouldn't make it, Mayor. Alderman Carroll, absent. Alderman Thomas. They're still coming in, so I'll come back to Thomas. Alderman Perry.
Here.
Alderwoman Dales.
Present.
And Alderwoman Avant Elliott.
Present.
Okay, did Alderman Thomas make it? Is that him? Okay, then we have the mayor, the city attorney, the chief, and the city clerk. Mayor, we have 4 present and 4 absent. Is Alderman Thomas in? Okay, Mayor.
He's trying to get in.
Okay,
He should be in shortly.
I think he's logging in. Sometimes, when we got these updated computers, they work real fast. It may take a minute.
or work kind of slow, huh?
Yeah.
That might be him trying to connect right now, Mayor.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking.
Hello, Mr. Ishmael.
Who was that?
Hello.
I'm speaking to Ishmael.
Okay, then, Ishmael.
Did Alderman Thomas come in, Mayor? I don't see him.
He texted me. He said still strolling, so he's trying. It's a
Okay.
computer issue.
Okay,
He can't do it from his phone because he has to show his face. Friend on the those that are present, I showed that it's 4 of us present.
I said it's 4.
He said
Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We need 5.
I know. I didn't hear her.
That's okay.
She's on now.
Yeah, he's trying to work it out.
Alderman Thomas, can you hear me?
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
5 present, Mayor.
I don't see you, but I hear you. When you can, show your face. So I can notice you. All right, so we have a quorum now.
Hello.
Okay, we have a quorum, so we will,
Excuse me, Mayor, somebody else is talking. I don't know if you can hear them. If
I
Fran can,
I can't see him. I'm looking for it, but I can't see where it's coming from.
yeah. Okay, so we will approve the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for today's date, the regular board meeting of the Board of Alderpersons, March 4, 2021.
Is there a second?
I second.
Move to properly second to approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposers, nay. All right, so I hope that I'm on the right agenda with, presentation of unapproved minutes.
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Okay, make the motion then.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for the Board of Alderman meetings with the mayor of February the 4th and February the 18th of 2021, and the emergency special meeting for February 23rd, 2021.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
Alderman Thomas raised his hand.
Yeah, I second. I'm sorry. I was having some computer problem.
Okay, then.
I think I got it straight.
So all in favor, say aye.
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 Abstain,
Opposers?
abstain.
Why is it one abstention? Okay, so we'll move down to meeting open to the public. Is anyone from the public who would like to speak at this time for 3 minutes?
Yes.
Go right
Hello.
ahead. Name and address so the clerk can record it.
Okay. My name is Georgia, last name Walls, W-A-L-L-S. And my address of my business is 10113 Lewis and Clark Boulevard in Bellefonte Neighbors.
Okay. What's your comment?
Oh, I just had a concern. I have a fitness business and I've been here for approximately 10 years, and there is a liquor store that is moving next to me, and I just had a concern being a women's fitness center as to why right here, right next door to me, and we have classes like around this time, and I just had concerns about that.
All right. I'm
Mayor,
sorry.
can I make a comment? I don't think that's the business that she's speaking about is in the city of Bellefonte Neighbors.
I couldn't understand what you were saying personally. I couldn't. So if you want to repeat that, please. Yeah.
So you want me to repeat what I said?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a fitness center right here on Lewis and Clark in Bell Fountain Neighbors, and the landlord is renting the space next to me to a packaged liquor store. So it's predominantly women, and I just had a concern about that. And I just wanted to express my concerns because I've been here for about 11 years.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I know what she's talking about.
Okay, so Chief is on, write that down, that address, and we'll look into it. Anyone else? I'm sorry, is that all, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, is there anyone else who would like to speak?
Yes, Mayor, this is Anthony Green at address 9228 Waldorf Drive. My concern is based upon a posting that one of the aldermen, James Carroll, has put on next door. It's been taken down, but my concern is that he initially indicated that his ability to perform duties currently as an alder person is contingent on Alderwoman's West's computer, because the one at work that he has, this is what he put on next door. It's been taken down, but the one that he had at work, it sends the transmission too choppy. And he said his computer at home is not reliable despite the stipend that y'all get monthly. And again, this was what I'm trying to make sure I don't add anything extra what he had said, but that's what he had put on next door until the whole post was taken down. I'm concerned about that because you barely got your quorum tonight. And if his ability to perform his duties as alderman is inextricably linked to the availability of Alderwoman West, that compromises his ability to perform the duties, because just telephoning in as an alder person is unacceptable because the face must be visible. I don't know if he knows how to use his phone or not. I don't know if tonight's a function of that, but I want to make sure that eventually you as a mayor get to the bottom of that, or the public is aware of why that is. Again, he posted that himself, so it wasn't somebody researching it on their own. He initially posted. Excuse me. I thought I had the floor for 3 minutes without.
Person that's trying to talk, Madam
Because
Clerk.
I'm looking at the screens now and I see every alder person that's here that was at least said it was 5 people. So I don't see Alderman Carroll's face and I don't see Alderwoman West's face. I'm not really focusing on West right now because West did not post that. Alderman James Carroll posted that on next door. So again, if he does not have a computer of his very own that he can use to show up on a meeting on the first and third Thursday of every month, and doesn't have a reliable way to do that, that is a concern of the city as well as a concern for the people. And I would like an answer on that, not now, but I would like an answer that where you research and investigate that, because he posted that. It looks, from what I'm seeing right now on the screens as far as faces, at least Days has her own computer, she's using it. You have your own computer or wherever you're using it. Dinah has her own computer, you're using it. James is doing it. I'm assuming Miranda's doing it. I can't speak for her, but has her own computer, and so does Mel Perry. I think that James Carroll should be under that same regime where he has his own computer, not depending on the availability of another alder person. I think that's just problematic, especially if that person's not available for whatever reason. So I just want to make sure we investigate that and maybe get some clarity on that. And if I'm mistaken about his availability and that was not on there, he can say that, but that post was up. I read it in its entirety and now it went down. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, sir, Mayor, this is Wanda Lane. I have comments regarding some posting from Mr. Carroll as well, but I would like for him to be present when I make my comments. So I'll withhold those. I do notice that we have several members of the Riverview Garden School District, at least I think we do, that are present. And I want to know, will the public be able to ask questions after they make their presentation, or should I ask the questions now? I'm not sure what they're going to present. So at the last time they were here, which was also not a quorum, they were able to make a presentation, but the citizens weren't able to ask questions. So I want to know which way do we do this time?
We'll let them make their presentation and you'll be able to ask questions at that point.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Anyone else? If there aren't any other, what the representatives, I see the superintendent and others from the district. Mr. Superintendent, Dr. Spurgeon, would you share with us at this point?
Yeah, absolutely, Mayor. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And we're just here this evening, Mayor, to answer any questions that the community may have around Proposition E. And so Mr. Ismail Sustruk and Miss Dr. Stacy Nichols are also here this evening. So we're just here to be a part of the community and to be a part of your meeting. And if you have questions, we're happy to do our best to answer those.
All right. Public, you have an opportunity now to ask those questions, or anyone from the board or the public.
I just raised my hand, Mayor, if no one else did.
Did you? Okay, then. Go right ahead.
Hi, Dr. Spurgeon and everyone. The
Evening.
question that I have, I asked at the last meeting, had you all decided was the increase from the top down or from the bottom up?
You
So,
talking of salary?
Yes.
So, and I'll let Ishmael jump in here as well, but Councilwoman Dailies, it's really across the board. There's really no top down or bottom up. It's really whatever we're able to do for our salary schedules will be across the board for all employees. It won't be top heavy or bottom heavy. It'll be simply across the board, because I think in the last presentations you may have received, we are the second lowest starting salaries in the North St. Louis County area for our teachers. And so what we're trying to do is, when Proposition E passes, is to do something fair and equitable for our employees, because the bottom line is that unless we're able to get quality teachers, high quality teachers in all of our classrooms, we're as good as we're ever going to be. And so it really isn't a question of whether the top gets more or the bottom gets more. It's equitable across all employee groups.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, sir. Dr. Spurgeon, I listened to the meeting that happened virtually a week or so ago, and there were several questions that I had. The first one is, I listened to your response to Alderwoman Dales, and I understand what across the board means. However, there are some district employees whose salaries are substantially higher than other district employees. And the concern I have is, if we're concerned about maintaining quality instructors, why would the district not concentrate on bringing those salaries that are at the bottom up higher? That's one question. And the other question, there was a lot of discussion about the terminology of the ballot language. And there were some changes that needed to be made on that. I had all of this written down. I just can't seem to find my notes. But I want to know if that ballot changes has happened. And third, there was a lot of discussion about how the citizens need to be informed as to what happens if we don't pass this initiative. We're now getting a lot of conflicting information, or maybe just not real clear information. I understand the difference between the bond issue versus the tax issue and the improvements in the infrastructure of the school, but I just don't think all that information is being disseminated to the public. So can you address those issues, please?
Yeah, I will. And if you'll do me a favor, is so I can address them specifically, let me give you my email address so you can send those questions once you find your information, because I want to make sure I get everything answered that you have this evening. And my email address is SSPURGEON, that's S Spurgeon, at rgsd.k12.mo.us. And so if you need me to repeat that, I'm more than happy to do that. So when we talk about improving the salary schedule, we know for a fact, and let's not make any bones about it, that we have support personnel who are very well underpaid. And so we're looking at those salary schedules because we know for a fact that we have custodians, maintenance workers, food service workers, first student transportation workers. Is that's something that we're taking a serious look at, because the bottom line is whether we're talking about classroom teachers, administrators, cooks, custodians, we know for a fact that unless we improve our salary schedules, we're not going to be able to attract and retain those individuals, and they're the individuals that make this operation run effectively. And so when we take a look at that, whenever I say equitable across the board, it might be a 2% or a 1% or a 3%. We can't tell you what it's going to look like yet. We're actually running scenarios and numbers, and I'm happy to share that with you once we get that accomplished. But we know for a fact that we may have to do something extra for our cooks. We may have to do something extra for our custodians, for our maintenance workers. So what I'm saying is it's not going to be top heavy. It's going to be equitable across the board, and that means if we need to boost a little bit more in our support staff to ensure that they're equitably funded and paid, then that's something we're going to take into consideration. So please don't take me as saying that if we're going to give 2% across the board, then it may be 2% for everyone. There may be a couple of classes that we actually may be able to do something better for, because the bottom line is that we want to make sure that we treat people fairly and equitably, and that may be different from each class of individual person. Does that help answer the question as far as across the board?
It did.
And
If
then,
I can add a
And,
little
and,
bit to
and,
that.
and I do understand. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was going to say, if I can add a little bit to that, that's one of the things that we have been discussing. And part of the equation is how the new salary schedule is going to be determined. So there'll be a committee that's put together, and we are going to look at neighboring school districts or other area school districts, look at the salary schedules that they have in place. So we'll look at Pattonville's salary schedule. We'll look at Hazelwood. We'll look at Rittner and these other school districts, and see what they have in place for the support staff, for the custodians, for the cooks, for these other workers. And if ours is far out of alignment, we're going to try to match ours with theirs as long as that fits within the budget. So we definitely want to take a look at those lower paid individuals. And another, I guess, answer to that question is we lose employees out of every department to neighboring school districts just due to pay gaps. And so that's support workers, that's teachers, that's administrators, that's principals. And so in order to curb that, in order to have some consistency in our operations, then we need to make sure that we're taking care of everyone.
and I guess the best way to put it is it's very frustrating to me as a superintendent of the schools in Riverview Garden School District, where, we may be paying custodians $8, $10, $11, $12 an hour, and they can go to work at other places, even at a fast food place for $15 an hour. And so we recognize that's a real issue for us. And as Mr. Sistrunk said, is that we don't have all the answers yet, but we're going to be looking at individual districts around us, and then what's fair and equitable for us to be able to be competitive in the area of salaries and opportunities for our staff.
All right. Alderwoman Elliott.
Yes, how you doing, Dr. Spurgeon?
Hi, Dr. Elliott. How are you?
Good. It was a follow-up. I thought I heard you said, were you thinking about doing a 2% across the board or a salary schedule? I wasn't clear on.
That's just a number that we're actually working on. It could be a 1%, 2%. I mean, we're working on a number of scenarios. So what does that look like? I mean, this being in the school business, that what does 1% look like? What is 2%? What is 3%? And then what does that look like if you improve the salary schedule? Let's say, for an example, as a first year teacher, we're the second to the lowest starting salary in all of North County. And let's say, for an example, that might be $38,500. Well, Pattonville might be at $44,000 for a starting salary, but there's a number of districts that are between us and Pattonville. So what does that increase look like, and how much is that going to cost a district in comparison to what we have available? Because keep in mind that when Proposition E passes, it's not just for salaries. It's going to be for expanding early child education. It's going to be for expanding transportation. It's going to be for expanding programs and services for our students. I mean, there's lots of things that we're going to be able to do with this. So what can we reasonably and respectfully efficiently do with the money they have available, because we know for a fact, and you know this as an educator, that if we can't continue to put high quality teachers in our classrooms, we're as good as we're ever going to be. So I just throw that number out there as possibilities of 1, 2, 3%, as an increase for potentially a stipend, or what does 1%, 2%, 3% look like if you put it in the salary schedule? Because if you put it in that first year teacher, then that 1%, 2%, 3% has to matriculate all the way through the schedule through, let's say, 20 or 25 or 30 years. And so we're still working through those numbers right now. So don't take me at the percentage rate. We're just simply saying, what's it going to cost for Review Gardens? Because we know for a fact that our people make the difference. And if we can't attract and we can't retain the teachers and the employees that we have available, because they leave every 2 weeks, we have a board meeting and I got people leaving us. They can drive 3 or 4 miles north. They can drive 3 or 4 miles to the east or the west. They can drive 3 or 4 miles to the south, and they can make $5, $6, $7, $8,000 more. We have an absolute robust professional development program. We get a number of high quality first year, second year teachers. We train them and they leave us. And that's not good for our school district, because we're provisionally accredited. We're working on full accreditation, and we can't continue to sustain the high quality work that we're doing right now if we have to continue to do year one over and over and over again. But keep in mind, as the caller mentioned before, it's not just classroom teachers, administrators, it's support staff. It's every single person in our district. We used to be, and I've heard someone say this multiple times, in 2010 or 2011, we were one of the highest paying districts in the St. Louis region. And now, because of financial issues and the student transfer program and the governor withhold money, we have gone from being at the very top down to the very bottom. And the bottom line is that you got to pay to play. And right now we're looking for that support to be able to provide our students with the high quality education programs and services, and to do what's necessary in our district. And that's going to take some support from our community.
Is there any, maybe a previously developed, presented salary scale through NEA or anything prior to now that might be a baseline, or it has to be developed after the proposition is passed?
Dr. Elliott, we have in the PowerPoint presentation, I'm not sure what was presented last time, but we do have a list of North County school districts from the top paying starting salary to the bottom. But Education Plus, and I'm sure you're aware of Education Plus, which is a consortium of 23, 24 districts in the St. Louis region. And each year they do a salary study from superintendent all the way down to the administrators. And then MNEA and MSTA also does a teacher salary schedule, so that we have at least a base to start from, to know, okay, in comparison from Riverview Gardens to any district around us or across the state, or in comparable demographics, where do we stand as a district? So we're using all that data to be able to say, okay, with the money we're given, what's reasonable for us to be able to financially and fiscally be responsible, to say, okay, these are the things we're going to be able to do at this time. Because the bottom line is, as you well know, sometimes money only comes by one time. It's almost like when the Lord passes by, it's time to make a move. So when we get this opportunity, we're going to make the best move that we can to ensure that we compensate and do the best we can for all of our employees, because every single person in our district matters.
So if a citizen were to ask me, when would the teachers expect an actual raise, what would be the timeline after it's passed to potentially be ready to initiate,
Well, one of the questions that was asked, I believe one of the questions that was asked at this last meeting, or at least by someone from Bell Fountain Neighbors, was when Proposition E passes, when do you expect to receive the money? So typically that comes in and starts coming in December. When property taxes, like every single year, people that own the individual properties, your property taxes are due at the end of the year, and then personal property taxes come in periodically as you buy new things like that. But when Proposition E passes, we will have a salary schedule, or at least a recommendation available for us to begin to take a look at, starting that in the 21-22 school year. Because once that's passed, we know that money is going to be coming in. And keep in mind that we anticipate that money, and it's based on it will be based on the 2021 assessed valuation. And remember, that's all only done in odd years. So 2019, we have a number of about $211 million. We're hoping that number continues to increase, because that's better for the community and better for the school district.
Okay. Is there a staff person that could be available on a Saturday? We're going to have a town hall meeting, some of the aldermen towards the end of the month. And then we can advertise so citizens can actually come, because they didn't specifically put on the agenda that you all were presenting. And it would have been nice for citizens to know that they would hear from you all and ask the questions. But if there's someone available on March the 20th around 1.
Mr. Sister, if we can check and see our Chief Financial Officer, Levon Singleton, just does a tremendous job with relaying that information financially. We'll double check and see who's available. Our spring break is from the March 22nd through the March 26th. So some people may be in town, some people may not be in town, but Dr. Elliott, you know me. I mean, if we can make it happen, we're going to make it happen, because the bottom line is that, I mean, I've been in Riverview Gardens for 8 years, and believe me, I've been through the good times and the not so good times, and whatever we can do to make sure we get questions answered, because I'm telling you right now that this is the most important decision in this district that I've been a part of in the last 8 years, because if we want to continue Riverview Gardens in the state that it's in, then don't pass Proposition E. But if we want to move the district forward, we want to provide what our kids need and deserve, that we need support from our community.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that information. And I'm sure citizens who listen to your presentation and who's been here a while understand that the school district belongs to the taxpayer, and it is up to us to take care of what belongs to us. If we want better students, then we have to do what we need to do to make that happen. So
Thank you, Mayor.
you for coming.
Mayor, can I ask a question, please?
Yes, please.
Dr. Spurgeon, I have a question about transportation.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I right that students who live a mile or less to their school no longer does not get bus transportation? Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. The statute says that we are required to provide transportation to students that live outside of a mile. And for some districts, that works really well. For our district, it doesn't. So for an example, you might have a student that lives, 9/10 of a mile, and we're not required to transport that student. And we just don't have the finances to be able to expand that transportation. And that's one big thing that Proposition E will allow us to do, because we know that when students are in school more, they learn more. Secondarily, when they're in school more, we have better attendance. Thirdly, when they have better attendance, we get more money from the state. And so every single time our students are absent from school, we lose money from the State Department. So we're hoping to be able to expand that transportation to inside of a mile, to be able to ensure that, like for example, let me just be honest here. We have certain parts of our districts where there are a higher population of single parent homes. And single parent homes, we have some families where there might be a mother or a father or grandparent or guardian that may have a young child that has to be pushed in a stroller. And if it's raining or snowing or sleeting, or there's any kind of inclement weather, they're just not going to push that stroller to bring their young child to get their kindergarten and first graders and second graders to school. And so anytime we can expand transportation and literally eliminate any obstacles for our children to be able to come to school, it is absolutely the best thing we can do for them. And Proposition E will allow us to expand transportation to do that.
Okay, that was my question. Was that part of Proposition E? I also have concerns about safety for these kids.
Yes, ma'am.
Especially when it's inclement weather and they have to walk in the street because of the snow plowing or whatever it is. And of course, we had the little girl who was shot over in Moline Acres. It wasn't on the way to school, but just that's almost like unheard of. So I think having buses for everyone will provide hopefully some increase in participation in learning in school, and it will also help some parents who have to work to get their kids to school.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad that's part of the Proposition E. Thank you.
I mean, we're preaching to the same choir. I mean, you and I are on the same page.
Good, thank you.
And one other piece of information, and I'll be brief, Mayor. Just wanted to let people know, if you have additional questions or information, number one, I'll leave my information in the chat. Again, we also have our fact book, which is placed on our website. It's rgsd.k12.mo.us/prop-e. I posted that in the chat before, but you can go through and read through that, and it can answer some other questions that people may have that they either aren't present or just have not asked yet. Also, every Saturday up until April 6th, we are going to be canvassing door to door throughout the community. So we invite Bell Fountain neighbor citizens. We invite you, Mayor. We invite all the alder persons to come out, canvas with us. If you need to learn more about property, we'll explain it. But we're going to go door to door. We have yard signs, we have door hangers, we have informational handouts. And so we're going to do that every Saturday from 12 p.m. until 2 p.m. And we're meeting up at Central Office, 1370 Northumberland, and at 11:45. And we're going to go out every single Saturday. Now, I know you mentioned your town hall is at 1 o'clock, I believe, so we can make somebody available during that time. But we will have a big crew that's going out every Saturday, going door to door.
And Mayor, let me jump in real quick. And you were an active part of the Riverview Gardens School District Board of Education. You know how important early childhood education is, and you know how difficult it is to find that extra funding to be able to give all of our children that great early start to their educational career. And having been here for 8 years, we don't have the extra money. Every year I've been here, we have probably between 125 and 185 at the most early childhood education students and families on our waiting list that we can't serve. And we know for a fact that if they have to spend a year not getting that early childhood education, that early start, that they're 1 year behind when they come into us. Secondarily, they end up finding some other place to go to find that early childhood education, which means they don't end up being a Riverview Garden student. And so this Proposition E will allow us to expand early childhood education to accommodate as many families and as many students as possible, because we know that early childhood education is the #1 equalizer in education as it relates to my professional experience and my professional knowledge and understanding.
All right, thank you. And you're correct. I know that I've heard a lot of talk about Riverview Garden School District and its ability to educate. I know for a fact that when Riverview Garden gets students from early childhood all the way through 12, those students are achievers, highly achievers.
Yes, they are.
You get students sporadically any time of the school year who has to be tested, and many times they test lower than our regular students. So we will do what we can to support our school district.
And Mayor, let me give you one more example real quick. We have probably between 45 and 50% mobility rate, which means we have a number of students that are in and out, in and out, in and out. But as you mentioned before, if they stay with us, they are absolutely well prepared for post-secondary opportunities. Let me give you an example. In 2016, then Governor Nixon invited our school district to his State of the State address in January of 2016. And he invited about 5 or 6 central office and administrator staff. And then he asked us to bring 6 of our highest performing students that were going on to secondary or post-secondary studies to his State of the State address to recognize us, Riverview Gardens, as the most improved district in the school district in the state of Missouri. And so of the 6 students that we took that evening, I asked those 5 students, because it's a real passion of mine to find out how long they've been in our district. 5 of those students, Mayor, had been in our district since kindergarten, which tells you that if they stay with us, our academic program works. It's the mobility, it's the in and out, it's the challenge that we face, because I'm telling you, our kids are as great or better than any students I've ever worked with, and our staff are as good as anybody ever been around. It's the fact that whether or not they stay with us, and if they start early, because if they stay in our system, it's a proven fact that our system works for our kids.
Right. And Riverview Gardens as provisional now, but as a fully unaccredited school district, when I was close up, garnered more scholarship money from the most prestigious university around the country, even higher than Hazelwood and some of the other school districts around us. And so it's a good school district, and we need to keep it that way.
Yeah, our kids are phenomenal, Mayor. They are phenomenal.
Right. So thank you all for presenting to us tonight. And we will move on with our agenda.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Thank you. We will go to our public committees, Youth Commission, Public Safety, Image and Beautification, Parks and Recreation Board.
Yes, I'll talk on the Parks and Rec. I'm Jimmy, the Parks and Recreation Director. So the Park Board did not meet in February due to inclement weather. But I'll just give us some updates on what the Park and Recreation Department is doing. So I was out today in all of our parks, putting together a punch list for our park maintenance guys to start since the weather finally broke. So they'll be in the parks all throughout March, getting them ready for summertime, cleaning up all the sticks and debris and fixing a few issues that I saw through several of the different parks. Outdoor pool, the pool renovation contract was awarded to Bazan Painting. I've been working with Eric from Bazan, coordinating a pre-start meeting with the contractors and all the city employees. He's dropping off some tile samples tomorrow, and we're hoping to get that construction started here pretty soon. The roof repair, Clayton and I are working with Hunnicky Engineering to come up with a solution for the roof repairs. We'll have a full report at the next Board of Aldermen meeting. As for now, half the gym will remain closed until all the roof is repaired. Then for our hiring positions, we are still looking to hire some opening positions at the recreation center. So we just hired a front desk worker to help out with evening and weekends. We have a post open right now for park maintenance positions. We currently have 5 applications for that, and we'll be starting interviews next week. And then I'm still looking to hire a custodian. And that's all I had for tonight. So if anyone has any questions.
Any questions? All right, I see no.
I have a
hand.
question.
Yes.
Have you been working on your proposed budget for the upcoming budget year?
Yes, that was submitted to Patrick this afternoon.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All righty, thank you. We'll move now to Street Department. Mr. Ross.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. In the last month, we have completed our yearly IRMA reports for insurance purposes, along with the yearly MSD report. Going forward, we'll also be reporting to St. Louis County and the Department of Natural Resources, getting inspection on underground storage tanks to make sure we are in compliance. With the cold temps last month, we had quite a few breakdowns with city vehicles. All have been repaired except for one. And as the temps have warmed up, we are currently in changeover of equipment to be ready for spring and summer work. We have done quite a bit of trash pickup lately, along with filling potholes throughout the city, grinding stumps. Tree trimming will begin soon, along with sign replacements, painting of stop lines, and we're also in the process of fine tuning the department budget. And that's my report if anybody has any questions.
Any question?
Yes, I have a question. Could you please share, I shared with someone on Nextdoor, they wanted to hear more about the communication you shared with me about the county not wanting the speed bumps for liability. Could you please expound on what exactly they said would be a liability so that they can hear that information for themselves? I thought you said it in the board meeting, but maybe the person wasn't there, or maybe it was an email you sent me, but it was dialogue about the speed bumps on the county streets.
Okay, it was an actual email I responded to you. I went directly over to St. Louis County Transportation Department and spoke with the director over there, and they told me they will not allow speed bumps on any county road due to insurance liability, because people, if they mess up their cars or whatnot, they will call and they will be liable for that damage.
Okay, thank you for the explanation.
No problem.
That was it.
All righty, thank you. We'll move to approval of the bills over 500. Let me share this statement with you. Although I requested that the city clerk send the board of all the persons in its report packet the bills paid on February 24, 2021. I understand that these were not sent to you until this afternoon. I will be requesting ratification and approval by the board of all the persons of my payment of certain bills on February 24, 2021 at the next board meeting. These bills were requested to be paid by me under my general superintendent authority as mayor, city administrator and emergency management director of the city, with the responsibility for handling the day-to-day affairs and operation of the city. Additionally, the budget that the board of all the persons was for the year rather passed on July 2nd, 2020 for the year 2021 through 2020 through 21 fiscal year. Ordinance number 2580 authorized the expenditures set forth in that budget. The law implies that the mayor or the city manager has the authority to pay those usual and routine expenditures authorized in the budget once the budget had been approved. Therefore, I will entertain a motion to ratify and approve the payment of the bill set forth in the March 4th emails from the city clerk. Is there a motion for approval?
Mayor, for clarification, I thought you just said it was going on the next agenda.
Not the ones tonight. No, this agenda, meaning this agenda that we're into now. So is there a motion to approve those bills? Because I had to pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we've had 2 meetings without a quorum.
Mm-hmm.
And bills have to be paid. And I will not, as mayor and city manager, allow this city to not pay its bills and get a bad credit rating under no circumstances. And the citizens voted all the people in to attend these meetings. If they don't think that it's necessary for them to be here to exercise our duties as all the people, then the citizens will have to deal with that. But tonight, we will pay, and not only tonight, but from now on, we will pay our bills. Whether we have a quorum or not, it is my duty to make sure that we don't lose our credit rating because somebody decide to boycott these meetings. It's just not going to happen. And whatever you decide to do, you can do it. But I won't sit here as mayor and allow this city to go down because of some obstructionists. So is there a motion to pass the 0500?
Go ahead, Diana, go ahead.
2 things. I want to make a motion to ratify the mayor's action to pay those bills on February 24th, 2021 in the amount of $30,890.86. And also to include that we place the bills and the ratification and approval on our next meeting under old business. But tonight, I want to make a motion to ratify the mayor's action to pay bills on February 24th, 2021 in the amount of $30,890.86.
Is there a second? Woman Dale?
I second that.
Any further discussion?
Yes, so I'm a little confused. If we are putting it on the next agenda because it's not on this agenda, what are we approving tonight? Because that is.
Well, it's on the next agenda. What I was referring to is because you guys got it late, that I still want it ratified at this meeting.
So then that would have meant that the agenda needs to be amended to indicate that, and we would not have provided it to the public 24 hours. And the city attorney said that you would just be providing a statement today in reference to that. So we're about to violate something by not having it on the agenda. That was the conversation.
City attorney, could you explain that, please?
Hey, boy.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, could we refer to the attorney in this matter, please?
Yes.
City Attorney, would you clarify, please?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. I'd be happy to. What we are doing tonight is approving the over 500s that were sent out with the agenda earlier this week. We have a motion that is to be placed under unfinished business for the next meeting to approve those bills that were paid on February 24th. They will be approved and ratified at the next meeting, but they will be put on the agenda under unfinished business.
And that's what I stated, did I not?
No,
Made two motions, one motion to ratify his actions to pay the bills. And I also said to make a ratification and approval on next meetings under unfinished business. Did I not state that?
so you can't do
Point.
both. It's the same thing. So you're asking for us to approve something tonight that you're putting on the agenda for the next meeting. What she's saying is that it goes on to the next agenda and we only approve what we receive 24 hours in advance as the board with our agenda earlier this week. So you're saying we're gonna pay it tonight and then we're gonna approve it the next meeting is how you're making your motion. It's not typed in, but that's essentially what you're saying. So if you are making a motion to put it on the ratification on the agenda, that would align with what she just stated.
If the alderwoman would just type what the motion is and then be placed on the next agenda under
That's what I got.
new business, well,
Yeah.
unfinished business.
Uh-huh.
And
That-
then we'll make a motion, I'm sure, to pay the bills tonight.
Trying to do. But that's my motion. Thank you. I'll type it in. Finish typing it in.
Alderwoman Dales, you second it. And we've had our discussion. Roll call.
Can you restate the motion, please?
I make a motion to ratify and approve the mayor's actions to pay the bills on February 24th, 2021, in the amount of $30,890.86 to be placed on the next meeting agenda under unfinished business.
Yeah, that's the chair normally has to restate the motion before we vote on it. So I wasn't really asking you, but if once you put it in there, then he'll be able to read it. He normally supposed to restate before we vote.
City clerk will restate the motion.
So whoever you assign, but
Thank you.
normally your
That's enough.
Okay, I'll restate once you get it in there.
Can we, I think all of us understand what she stated. Can we go on with the vote?
Like we normally do.
Let's not discuss it.
Okay.
Okay. I make a motion to ratify the mayor's actions to pay the bills on February 24th, 2021 in the amount of $30,890.86 to be placed on the next Board of Aldermen meeting under unfinished business or new business.
Unfinished.
Yeah, okay, because you type under new business, but
Okay.
it should say under unfinished business. Motion made by Alderwoman Tappan.
All right. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Alderwoman Tappan,
Yes.
Alderman Thomas,
Yes.
Alderman Perry,
Yes.
Alderwoman Dales,
Yes.
Alderwoman Avant Elliott.
Yes.
Oh, yes, Mayor.
All right, then we'll move down to the chief's report.
Mayor, we're gonna pay today's bills in the amount of $17,139.52.
Mayor,
Yeah.
my hand is up, Mayor.
All right, go ahead on and speak.
Okay, I shared that I needed to leave, so I would like for the chief report to be moved up so that the citizens can hear his report before we pay the over 500s. So I moved to amend the agenda to move up the chief report before the over 500.
Point of order, the agenda should have been,
It can be amended. No,
Mayor,
your
can we,
legislative
Mayor,
right.
Mayor, it's your discretion that we continue on and pay the bills. It shouldn't take that long.
Well,
We would like to hear the police report before I have to exit.
we're not gonna fight over that.
Thank you.
Chief, can you make your report now and then we'll approve the invoices afterwards?
Yes, sir. Do you want the quick version or do you want the full version?
Quick version.
All right. I want to first of all, thank the department heads, the mayor and the treasurer. I've seen more collaboration on budgeting this year than I have in the past 6 years of preparing budgets for the city. We've gotten a lot done. My draft budget has been submitted. Now, mind you, we're still early in the year, so some of the things that we normally bid on to put in our budget, just like any other budget, is they're still coming in and will be added in later on. Our next budget meeting is set for next Tuesday, March 9th, which we'll meet and discuss further finances of the city for our overall budget. The piggyback on Director Ross's comments about the speed bumps.
Thank you.
That is also correct for extra signage and other things on county easements. I don't know if people remember, but when we put out the yellow signs that said, drive like your kids live here, county came around and picked up all the signs that were on the county easements. They are very, very strict about their roads and their easements. So it's very, very hard to get things done through the county that we feel that's important for our community. As it concerns crime stats, in January, we did have one homicide that was the Metro bus shooting where we did make the arrest on. Our motor vehicle thefts are a little bit higher than that I would like to see. Still, the biggest problem is people leaving keys in their car while it's running. And we did handle a lot of derelict and abandoned vehicles that month. With warmer weather coming on us, as I've said before, crime is seasonal. Please keep your eyes out for activity. Please call us if you need anything, suspicious people, suspicious vehicles. I had a staff meeting today, and we talked about a plan to try to stay ahead of the problems as the weather gets warmer into the summer. If we can stay ahead of these problems, it'll bring down the amount of problems that the city experiences as a whole. We've been more active on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm thanking DeAndre Amerson for managing that for the police department. He works in the business office. If you haven't checked it lately, he did put some information on there that is pretty important. St. Louis County has installed a satellite court office at Northwest Plaza. And it's got the same functionality as going down to Clayton. If you go on to our Facebook site, There is a narrative there, plus with a letter from Judge Burton and a map of where that court is at. There are plans to send possibly a recruit to the academy in June and another one in January. I will be approaching the board when that decision is viable, asking for permission to proceed. I'm also working on the replacement of cameras in City Hall and some over in the rec center by using a grant that's available. And lastly, as it concerns the budget, I usually handle the liability insurance and the pension end of things. Those rates will not come in until late May. That's when their board of directors of both those entities meets and they set the rate at that time. That's when we will know how much those items will cost, and they'll be added into the budget. And that concludes my report, unless anybody has any questions.
Thank you for your report. We'll move back now to the bills over 500. I think that was a motion and a second. And
No, we haven't done that yet, Mayor.
well, is there a motion to?
I have my hand up. I move that the board approve check numbers 43485 through 43518 for February 18th through March the 1st billing cycle for a total of $17,139.52.
Is there a second? Can I get a second?
I second.
I second.
I have a question. What did she say through 43518? Because I have 43519. Can you put that in? Okay. Oh, she did say 18. She said 18 and it is 19 in the chat. Okay, I see it.
Okay. Call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Alderwoman Tapman,
Yes.
Alderman Thomas,
Yes.
Alderman Perry,
Yes.
Alderwoman Dales,
Yes.
Alderwoman Avant Elliott.
Yes.
Oh, yes, Mayor.
All right, thank you. City Attorney.
Yes, Mayor. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I previously addressed this matter. However, it was brought to my attention again by one of the alderpersons that certain boards and committees of the city are not complying with the Missouri Sunshine Law in that they are not posting notice 24 hours in advance along with an agenda of the items that will be discussed at the meeting. There should be a notice placed on the city's website as well as on the front door. The city clerk can assist with that, but all city boards and committees are required to comply with these requirements. And if that's not done, the city could be subject to liability. The mayor recently sent a letter, I understand, to the chairs of all the committees requesting that in the future you comply with the requirements of the Sunshine Law. If there are any questions about what those requirements are, you can contact the city clerk. And if there are questions she thinks need to be referred to me, she will do so. Thank you.
Mayor.
Yes.
Attorney, is it proper to say, suggest that boards must make reasonable accommodations for individuals on their committee to either vote or for the community to be able to access the meeting? So in the COVID, we have some people meeting by Zoom. We have some people still meeting by in person. And you still have citizens and members that may not be comfortable meeting in person. Would those boards have to accommodate potentially through Zoom or some other platform for those other individuals to participate? Or is that something you have to look at further?
Well, I can say this in response to your question. Based on the protocols that have been established during this pandemic, yes, there should be efforts to accommodate citizens so that they can attend and participate in meetings of city boards and committees.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Mayor?
welcome.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Mayor? Okay, I move that the board adjourn the meeting.
It has been, there's a motion on the floor to adjourn the meeting. Did it get a second? I don't see any hands up.
It's okay. They'll just have to adjourn it when I leave because it won't be a quorum, so they're gonna have to adjourn it anyway. So I was just trying to adjourn it so I can be in the minutes with 5 people. So, okay.
What is the plan?
Are you making a second? I can.
No, I'm not.
Okay. All right. You all have a good night. Thank you, citizens. I'll see you on the town hall meeting on the 20th.
And Mayor,
Yes.
I would like to address the citizens and whoever's left. I hope the citizens are paying close attention to the obstruction that's happening. I know most of you that are on here are also on next door. If you want proper information and the truth, one of the things that were brought up that people are now choosing not to attend the meetings because they no longer have control. It was comments made about other people who have not made a certain amount of meetings. But those persons, myself being one, Alderman Thomas being another, not attending those meetings did not obstruct the business of the city. And I want to encourage everybody that's still left, like this town hall. I guess it's just for some of us to participate. This is the first time I heard anything about the town hall. We continue to obstruct and divide this city. And I hope most of you on here know me and know my heart. If nothing else, know the work that not only that I've done, but some of us that are still left on here, that we've done in the midst of this pandemic. The work that we've done was to directly affect your lives. Make sure you were safe. Make sure you were healthy. Make sure your homes were safe. Make sure you had what you needed. The mayor and some of us that are still here did tangible things that affected you. We weren't concerned, and I know some of you may get upset, but I'm thank you, Mayor, for letting me speak. We weren't concerned about Robert's Rule of Order or parliamentary. All of that, yes, is needed. But the energy that was needed and the camaraderie and the unity that was needed was to affect your lives. We have 4 people who are not here because of what's left on the agenda. They don't want to support what's on the agenda. That's okay, because the work will still go on. I'm only speaking for myself. I'm going to serve the citizens of Ward 1 and whoever else comes within that spectrum without the obstruction, because if you're looking with open eyes, looking through the minutia, you can see what's happening. And so it's unconscionable that those who had the majority, 5 voting, that now they don't, instead of coming together as a team in the midst of the most trying time in our history, to be obstructionists and say, since we don't have control, we're going to do our own thing. We're going to have our own town hall meeting. We're going to have our own virtual meetings, do everything over here. How, let me ask you, how has that benefited your life? We have missed a whole year of working as a team. Not that some of us weren't trying to get us to work as a team, but now that they don't have control, seemingly, and the majority to do what they want, they're dividing the city. And I hope citizens that are on here, I hope you hear my heart and hear what I'm saying. I'm not going to stop serving. I don't care what this board votes or don't vote. We have a quorum or don't have a quorum. I'm going to continue to serve. The mayor did a beautiful thing today. He worked with the health department to give masks to our babies that are going back to school. He partnered with Riverview School Garden District to make sure our children had masks. He's doing the same thing with the Michelle Obama Child Development Center. These are the type of things that we're concentrating on, not vying for power, not demeaning anybody, but trying to bring us together. And I just had to say that. And I hope you hear me. And I hope when you start reading some more of the divisive rhetoric on next door, that you offer to those who are not on this meeting to see. It's a blind person can see. This is the third time we don't have a quorum, and we can't finish the business of the city because they don't agree with it. And they can't vote against it. So the way to do it is to obstruct and not be here. Thank you, Mayor. I just had to say that because I am concerned about what's happening. And I hope those of you that are left on here, citizens, we work for you. We serve, forget about work. We're supposed to be serving you. We don't have to like each other. We don't have to get along, but service to a community that you guys voted for us to work together. You didn't vote for us to like each other. But I'm sorry, because I'm disappointed and I'm angry and I'm upset, but I had to say that in your presence. If you know, I don't keep anything that I do or say away from the citizens. I don't think anybody that's left on here does. So if you want to discuss it further, you can call me. And if you notice, I am not on Nextdoor that much because I don't like the rhetoric and the decisiveness that's placed on there. Invite those who are not here to come and see for themselves. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, citizens, for letting me rant and rave. I had to get that off my heart because we have another day of obstruction where we can't finish the people's business.
That's right. Alderwoman Diaz.
Thank you, Alderwoman Tammy. Thank you, Mayor. I want to share with the citizens that are left on here. Sometimes some of the information that you receive on Nextdoor is just bits and pieces, and it's not all truth. Many of us don't say anything because we allow individuals to come in and say what we're not doing and all the other negative vibes that go out on Nextdoor. Those of us who serve, you know what we do. We also have individuals who work with those individuals through Nextdoor. So if we say anything, we'll be pulled off, but they're allowed to say what they want to say, which is unfair. But we want you to share with your citizens, your neighbors, anybody that's dealing with Nextdoor, what's going on this meeting. Dinah spoke the truth and she said it all. I don't have to repeat it back about the instructions. We have a mayor and we want to work with him. And the thing about being a neighbor is you help each other. And that's what we're doing. Anything that the mayor needs, we're going to help him. He's informed about everything. We didn't know about a town hall meeting. I just looked at the bills. We weren't even given the information about the newsletter. And I'm going to call the rec center tomorrow to make sure that the information in the newsletter is related to the things that we want in there for you. We work for you. The chairs we sit in belong to you. We serve you. We don't serve self. And you can see right now, those of us that are here, we serve you and we're going to be here for you. And when there were things on the agenda that we didn't want, we still showed up because that's our duty to be a public servant. And I appreciate everybody for staying on. Anybody who wants to call me, my number's on the website, or you can call, I left my message number in there, but we have a good mayor, we have a good team, and we're going to move forward. And hopefully we'll get other people who really want to serve you and not self.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alderman Thomas.
Yes. Thank you, Alderperson Dales and Alderperson Tapman. As an elected official for the city of Bell Fountain, it is very important that we serve the people, the citizens that elected us, and that we take self out and that we, again, serve the people. I know I've repeated myself and I will continue to repeat myself because if not for the people, we wouldn't be here. And to have obstruction, I won't use that word insurrection because it won't get that far, because the citizens will speak up against what's going on. I too don't participate in Nextdoor for obvious reasons because of social media. It is not a platform for what we are supposed to be doing. There was an agenda item and I guess I can't talk about the litter pickup that we're gonna do, but that's for the community. That's to help the community. And that's what we're here for. And I too thank the citizens for their participation and for them staying on the line tonight, even though we can't finish the agenda. Thank you.
Okay. And I'm gonna have a citizens comment on in a minute. But let me say this to you, that as a mayor / city manager, this city will not miss a beat. Every Wednesday morning, I meet with the department heads, and you will still be protected. Your streets will still be attended to. Everything that you get now, you will still get it, because they were not serving you anyway. So you're not going to miss them. What we're going to miss is having the quorum, and it's really up to the citizens, up to you all to make noise about it and make the right noise.
Yeah.
I know some of you don't like the fact that I'm mayor, but you live in this city and you need to allow me to protect you in this city, because I don't care whether you like me or not. We're going to run a good city here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to respect you, and I'm sure you're going to respect me as well. You're going to tell the truth on me and not start spreading lies on me. I see some of the stuff that go on next door as well. But I want to assure the citizens that this city will move forward in a great way, whether they show up or not. That I pledge to you, that we'll continue to work for the betterment of this city. The other day we had MoDOT. I signed some papers the other day to release 58? I had it here a minute ago. I think it was $58,000 that they owed to us, that I didn't find out about until the last minute, and had to rush up to City Hall to sign those papers. And so there are a lot of great things that are going to come to this city, and we're going to take advantage of them. And I'm not going to allow them to stop anything good coming to this city. So I don't want you to be worried about it because they don't show up. That's their business. I'm going to be here, and there'll be other board members here as well.
Yeah.
So we've taken it from them almost 2 years, and now they can't handle it when we become equal. It's a 4-4 tie. When they had the 5 votes, they just did whatever they wanted to do. They ran over me and everybody else. Now they can't do it, so they can't come to a meeting. That's childish and it's unacceptable. And the citizens need to make sure that they let them know that. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I'm going to give the last word to our residents. Whoever wants to speak, I'm going to waive the 3-minute rule.
Thank you. Mayor, I have some concerns. I want to make sure that they get, let me turn this heater off, get addressed. Not now, but eventually. If this obstructionist continues, and I call it the voting block, can't seem to show up, I do feel after so many meetings that will rise to the action of a censure. I see that, James Carroll had absolutely no problems putting a censure against Elise, along with Alderman West saying that she needs to take that censure like a woman, or whatever verbiage or terminology that Alderman West used. So it's only been 2 meetings that they've been allegedly obstructionists. I guess because I want to probably say they want to say it's an allegation. But if they continue to do that, I would probably say 3 or 4 meetings. I feel that there should, I mean, granted, you can't pass them because you won't have the quorum, I guess, because you have to vote on it. But I think that still needs to be vocalized and documented some way. And maybe the censures will be a way to at least say, we still could not pass that. But I think the formal write-up of that is, as you said, this is very immature behavior. I don't, the thing I've heard on Nextdoor was allegedly the February 24th meeting, I think it was. They didn't want to attend because they did not have the agenda within 48 hours of the meeting. I don't know if that's true or not. Can we make sure that threshold is met so they cannot use that as a red herring for not doing the city's business? I don't know if that was the case or not.
Let me interrupt you for 1 second.
Sure.
The 48-hour rule applies when there's a city manager who gives the mayor a 48-hour notice. The mayor has 24 hours to notify the public of the meeting, not 48.
Okay, thank you for that correction. And like I said, I know it's repetitive, but I really want to get to the bottom of Mr. Carroll's computer situation, because then again, he disclosed that on Nextdoor that his home computer is not reliable, is what he said. His work computer transmitted too choppily. Every alder person on this line, including Miranda, has their own computer that works. And I do not want him to have a dependency or codependency on Alderwoman West because she may be going through some health issues. I don't know. But if she's not available, I don't want that. I don't want his attendance inextricably linked to her availability. So I definitely, I don't know if that's the case tonight or if he's just doing obstructionist, but I just would like some clarity on that. My last question would be, I think Jeffrey Ross mentioned that 2 trucks broke down. Can he give the age of those trucks? And and does he have any plans for any of those trucks in terms of the next year's budget? That's all I have.
I can answer that for you, Mr. Green. We actually had 3 trucks break down during that last snowstorm. It was a 2005 C6500, and it was a 2005 F350 dump, and a 2015 F250 truck. We've got those 2 repaired. The one we're working on now is the C6500. And in my budget, upcoming budget, I'm requesting to purchase another truck.
Okay. Is the truck that you're trying to purchase replacing one of the other trucks? And if so, how old is the truck you're trying to replace?
Well, our fleet, the newest trucks that we have are 2 2015 F250s, which are not dump bodies. We use one for just a plow, and the other one has plowing and salt spreading capabilities. I just like to add, because of the age of the trucks we do have, I just like to add another truck to the fleet.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, sir, Mayor. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ms. Casper.
Oh, thank you. This is Kathy Mason at 1013 Donnell. First, I want to say I agree with every one of your comments to the aldermen that are there. The only one that really hurt me to my soul is Alderwoman Chapman, because I know she came out of her element. That is not her. And I hate that she's hurting to have to say what she said, even though it had to be said, and it's true. I want to be sure on another vote item is that for unique home audio is one of the things that will be paid, because it's been 6 months that needs to be paid. And the mayor knows what I'm talking about. And so does the chief. And that's all I have to say. Go ahead, Wanda.
Thank you, Ms. Kathy. Mayor, there's several things, and then I have a question for the city attorney. Number one, to many of the citizens who are still left, I'm going to go back to the day of inauguration or the swearing in service for the mayor, where we had an alderwoman who made a public comment, and I really don't like to make reference to people who aren't present, because I think everyone should be able to defend themselves. But this was a public comment, so it's documented, where she didn't think that the mayor should have been elected to be the mayor in the first place. She said that in a public meeting. So in my mind, there's already an establishment of non-cooperation from the very beginning on the day he was sworn in. City Hall was packed. So there are several people who heard her say these things. And she's part of the 4 who did not attend or haven't attended now for 2 meetings. Alderman Thomas, I'm going to call her insurrectionist and obstructionist. The only thing missing is violence, but they did the same thing on January 6th, which was the intent to stop city government, to stop government business. And that's all this is all about. I'm confused when Avant Elliott made the comment this evening that she had to leave early and requested the chief make his report before she has to leave, and then came right back and made the motion to pay the over 500 invoices, which was a part of the agenda. And then suddenly I got to go with the direct intent of obstructing city business. So my question to the city attorney, I know that these are different times, and we're in a swiftly changing everything in our country. But at what point, Mr. Green made the statement of alleged. I don't think it's alleged. I think this is what happened. That's my opinion. But at what point does the citizens tolerate this kind of insurrectionist behavior before we can do something about it? And by something I mean, they need to be, censored isn't strong enough for me. They need to be suspended, removed. We need to elect people who are willing to serve the citizens. I don't know what that looks like, but I can see this happening again and again. That's not good for the city, it's not good for the citizens. You know, we got a lot of stuff going on in our lives, personally, individually. We don't need this extra unnecessary burden, because it is burdensome. It's difficult enough for us to maneuver during this particular time. So this obstructionist behavior has got to come to an end. There was, for other people who don't know, we had an elected official who did not attend a meeting for a year due to personal illness, okay? And it didn't stop anything, but that was one individual. Now we got 4 people who are playing this. I don't want this to continue. I think that we should start, if there isn't anything on the books, there needs to be a discussion now about what we're going to do to stop this. And that's my comment, Mayor. Thank you so much.
All right. I think that there's some legal actions that can be taken that need to be explored. Because
that's what I'm talking about.
They were elected to attend these meetings. Alderwoman Tatman.
Well, and I can hear the rattling already. It's going to be said they didn't obstruct because they paid the bills. To them, anything outside of seemingly they might want to do is not important. So it's going to be said, we didn't obstruct, the bills get paid. So to them, running government, and it's true, is paying the bills. But also, legislatively, that's not the only thing and only way the city is ran. So that's number one. That's going to be on next door. Well, it was no obstruction. The bills get paid. That's all that matters. Number two, there's nothing on our books or ordinance that says part of our responsibility is to attend meetings. But like you said, it's an honor system. If you're a legislator, you plan on being there. So it's going to be said they didn't stop anything other than the things they didn't want. The city business still went on. We paid bills. And so that's going to be the pushback. So anything else that is wanted to be done for you is not city business and is not important. I know Alderwoman West did just have surgery. And she did sacrifice a couple of times to get on when she was in the hospital. But like I said, you have 4 people who are in lockstep in what they do. And to them, they're not obstructing, because to them, the business is that, paying the bills. Anything when it comes to doing for you, don't know what this town hall is about. So that's another thing. They're setting up a separate government. None of us that are left heard anything about a town hall. The mayor didn't hear anything about a town hall, so they're going to set up their own town hall, which they can. But if we're going to work as a team, why not work as a team? And then I'm done for tonight, because I'm I'm done. So next door you'll get all the stories, because that's where everybody goes to get their half news and spread their opinion.
Okay.
I'm done.
Is there anyone else from the public who would like to speak?
Yeah, this is Kathy Mason again. I've been thinking, if
That's dangerous,
I know
Kathy. Kathy, you've been thinking that's dangerous.
that you're right about that. Anyway, if I know the aldermen get paid monthly. If part of that, I don't know what word to use, if you are to attend 2 meetings to get paid, why are we paying them?
That's a good question. We'll explore that.
Thank you. See, not all
One last comment, Mayor, regarding what Alderwoman Tapman said, and I will find it. Part of the requirement, according to the Municipal League handbook, to be an elected official is to attend meetings. And I know this because Avad Elliott and I went back and forth on next door regarding the requirements to be an elected official. And attending meetings is a requirement. So I will find that. I downloaded that handbook on my computer. I will find it where it says that. And that might be a part of the legalities, because they're not doing it.
Right.
So we need to get to the bottom of it. Bottom line. That's it, Mayor.
Chairwoman of the Youth Commission, Alicia Smith.
Hi, everyone. Hello, board. Hello, aldermen. Hello, alderwomen. I apologize to all of the citizens along with the board for being a little tardy today. I worked late, have a rough week. Outside of that, I would like to, on a lighter note, invite all of the citizens, anyone that can volunteer. I hope I'm not stepping on any toes or conducting city business, because this is not city business. But the Youth Commission has teamed up with the Youth Volunteer Corporation to pick up trash throughout the city. This Saturday, we are going to meet up March the 6th, 2021. Again, this Saturday at 9:30 a.m. At the rec center. And then we will spread out throughout the city to begin to pick up trash. Anyone is invited. And again, the Youth Commission, along with the Youth Volunteer Corporation, will be picking up trash. Outside of that, I am a citizen of Ward 4, and I do have a lot of concerns. I have been extremely dependent on one alder person, and I will definitely address her name, Elise Dales, due to my other alder person, Miranda Avant Elliott, who decided to kind of check out on me. I thank you, Elise, for not giving up. We do not always see eye to eye, but you are woman enough to agree to disagree. And I thank you for that. I am still a citizen with concerns that go on in this city. I am a little disappointed, just like everyone else, about what's going on. When you guys discussed paying the bills, I want the city to understand the Youth Commission, along with some of the other boards and commissions, are paid quarterly. That's every 3 months. The Youth Commission and the members we can't even remember when we received our last check. And we really don't care. I'm gonna be honest, we really don't care about that because we are here to serve your children in the community. We love your children and we are here to serve you and things like that. So again, thank you, Mayor, for allowing me past 3 minutes, and I hope to see everyone out this Saturday.
All right, anyone else from the public?
Mayor, I'm sorry, I have one last thing too, because it was something that was also said off the next door, which I think was, I mean, from what I'm hearing, I already knew it was false, but there was an older person that was saying that, you know, they were just saying in general, not just the public has how do you call it, has a misunderstanding. There is no such thing as a voting block. You're just imagining things in your eyes. And I just think that's just so, what you call it, so condescending, because it's very obvious to see, at least in my mind, when I go back into, you know, from July to now, who was in that voting block. And like you said, everyone played accordingly, you know, understanding that that was a voting block and they did what they wanted to do. And it's just really sad to see this. So I'm really interested in seeing the next meeting to see if this same, at least the 3 who were absent on the 24th, are they absent on March the 4th, which is today, and they are. If they're absent again the next time around, in my mind, you know, 3 times in a row, that's not isolated incidents, that's a pattern of behavior. And I just want to make sure that, you know, that the public's aware. I do think there is a voting block, even though the older person that I was discussing with it indicated that he thought it wasn't a voting block. But it's just apparent to me that this is, if it's not obstructionist, it's disturbing political engineering that's going on, that at the expense of the public. And I just want that to also be said. It's almost like some filibustering is going on. I'm not going to show, if you don't want to come to the meeting, that's one thing. I'm sorry, if you don't agree with the agenda, that's one thing. Can you not come to the meeting and just abstain on all the votes? Like, why must you stop a quorum from even happening? There were some other options at play here. And I just don't think, you know, any alder person or cool or, you know, or a group of alder persons should start politically engineering the board for their own devices. That's not what this board was designed to be, you know, it wasn't designed to be treated this way. The public was not designed to be treated this way. And I'm looking forward to the next meeting and seeing who's present or absent. The other thing that was a fallback is that part of the, or what you call it, part of the counterpoint, because I know Dinah was talking about counterpoints and next door is, you know, oh, well, what's the big deal? You know, other people before February 24th have missed the meeting. And so why y'all making a big, you know, stink about, you know, some people missing a meeting or two? So, I mean, that's been the other, I guess you call it pushback from this. And it's just disturbing to why it's not about, you know, one meeting. It's about, you know, it doesn't come off as random. When you have 3 different people who are not present for 2 different meetings, already it does not come. And in my opinion, those 3 people were part of the established voting block. Does not come off as random. It comes off as engineered. it comes off as manipulated. It comes off as a form of filibustering. And I just want that to also be said. So I'm done too as well. Thank you so much.
All right. Anyone else from the public?
Yes, I'd like to speak. This is Sarah Hagee, Ward 1 all the way. I'm really encouraged to hear the conversation tonight and to have the honesty and the openness discussion about what's going on with the city government. So I really appreciate that. And I think it's a good direction to move the city forward. I did have one suggestion. I don't always get the opportunity to get on the website and look at the agenda for the Board of Alderman meetings. Is it possible that the agenda could be shared on this platform on Zoom at the start of the meeting so I can see what's on the agenda?
I don't know. Someone, whoever knows that can address it.
Mayor, the city clerk should have the ability to put the agenda in the chat.
Can we do that? Don't you think that would be a good idea going forward?
Yes, ma'am, Miss Sarah. The city clerk is listening, so
Okay.
I will send an email tomorrow and
Okay,
ask
thank
her
you.
to do that.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? All right. It was good to hear from you all. Alderwoman Dales, you still have one more thing to say?
I just want to, I think we still have the same audience here. Those that go on next door, a lot of the information that's sent about the city of Bellefontaine neighbors is sent to 34 other cities. Sometimes individuals are trying to get their name out there because they want to run for other committeemen and other offices. I need people to share with our community the things that's going on that's really harming our city. Bellefontaine business is Bellefontain's business.
All right.
And that's just it. That's all. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. All right. I appreciate all of you all tonight for hanging around, but rest assured that the city will continue to move forward and handle its business. And I'll just say this, when I became mayor, I made a promise to myself that I would not allow chaos to take place in this city. And I would not be a part of chaos. That's why I try to be as cool as I can. And sometimes it's very hard, but I'm not going to be a part of that chaos. So thank you all so much for your presence. Thank you for your attentiveness, and have a wonderful night and a great city. The weather's good. Weather's so good. I got out yesterday to try to wash my truck, and I was so happy. I did a horrible job. I don't believe I did. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.